Hello everyone, Phoenix Knight here. Welcome to the channel, and welcome back to the 1985 pennant race in season ticket baseball. Would also be accurate to say welcome back to Canada, as once again we are north of the border for a National League East matchup this time. But this time we are at Olympic Stadium in Montreal, Quebec, Canada, for a National League East matchup between the New York Mets and the Montreal Expos. Yeah, it is September 14th, 1985 in the replay. The Expos historically won this game 5-1, but as usual, we will see what Season Ticket has to say about this game, about that. As far as a full rundown, in the AL East, we've got the Yankees at 93-48. They should be looking to wrap up a playoff spot anytime here. The Blue Jays, and possibly the division while they're at it, the Blue Jays are behind them at 82-60, 11.5 games back. The Orioles and the Tigers are basically separated by a rounding error at this point, as the Orioles are at 80-59, the Tigers are at 80-60. So the Tigers are currently a half game back of the Orioles for the third place spot in the AL East. As for the AL West, it's basically the Angels at 78-62. The Royals are 3.5 back at 75-66, and almost the entire rest of the division is on doomsday watch. The only team that isn't on imminent doomsday watch is the Chicago White Sox at 66-46. The Athletics and Twins are both 62-80. Barring anything crazy, I'm expecting both of them to be eliminated tonight, as I'm also expecting the Seattle Mariners to go at a record of 60-80. As for the National League West, the Dodgers are currently leading that division with a record of 89-54, 3.5 games up on the Astros at 84-56. And the Reds are currently behind them at 77-64. But that would be enough to get the Reds into the playoffs if the playoffs started today. As for the NL East, which is where our attention turns tonight, the Cardinals are leading the division at 87-53. But we've got the Mets, who are 7.5 back of that at 80-61. And then the Expos are 3.5 back of the Mets at 76-64. The Phillies are not part of the playoff conversation at 65-57, and the Cubs are facing doomsday tonight. But we will see what happens on that one. And they picked a bad opponent to face for doomsday. I will say that by looking at the ticker. So, with all of that being said, fans are filing into Olympic Stadium. We're expecting a sellout tonight. And what say we jump down to the mound and get into this one? Starting pitcher tonight for the Montreal Expos is David Palmer. 7-10 with a 3.71 ERA, 135 2/3 innings pitched, 106 strikeouts, 67 walks, and 5 home runs in 85. As the rest of the Expos get loose behind Palmer, we will take our first look at the Mets starting lineup. Leading off tonight, we've got Mookie Wilson in center field. Wally Backman is at second base. Keith Hernandez is at first base. Gary Carter's catching. Darryl Strawberry is in right field. George Foster is in left field. Howard Johnson is at third base. Rafael Santana is at shortstop. And the starting pitcher for the Mets is Sid Fernandez. He gets a pitcher batting card, and we will meet him in better pitching detail when we get to the bottom of the first. I will also mention, as I'm finishing getting everything set up for the Mets and their tableau layout, that after tonight's block action, we will have our last If the Playoffs Started Today post. That'll be on the channel and in all the Facebook groups I post in. And the next time I'll be posting brackets, the next time I'll be posting the playoffs, it'll be the actual playoffs, as we will be getting set to start those. I'm expecting to start those next week, but we'll talk about that a little bit more probably tomorrow morning, once I have the schedule a little bit more set. As for tonight, we are using blue, white, and red dice. Expos are the home team. Actually made very easy to recycle the dice because the Blue Jays were the home team and used the same colored dice earlier this morning. The Expos are trying to pick up some ground in the NL East, and they want to host the wild card game. The Expos are currently half a game back of the Reds for that. They're at 76-64 to the Reds at 77-64. The Mets are looking up at the Cardinals and trying to fend off the Expos and the Reds. Palmer will get the sign from Butera. He will set. Which team will achieve their goals? Only the dice know, and in order to find out what the dice know, we have to shut up and go. We have to stop with the hype train, and we'll have to go to the first pitch to find out what story the dice want to tell. So here we go. We will get started with a 476 against a righty. A 476 is going to be a ground ball over to third. Picking that up for the Expos is going to be Wallach. He will make the play over to first. 1 out in the inning, and we are underway here at Olympic Stadium. Wally Backman is now the batter for the Mets. 273 average, 1 home run, 38 RBIs in 85. Palmer looking at Butera for the sign. He will set. Here's the windup, and here comes the pitch. That is a 387, and a 387 is going to be a fly ball into right field. Coming under that for the Expos is Dawson. He will make the catch, and that'll be out number 2, as Dawson's got to track that one down coming in, but he'll make the catch on the jog. 2 outs in the inning, and Keith Hernandez now steps into the batter's box. 309 average, 10 home runs, 91 RBIs in 85. Palmer looking to Butera for the sign. He will set, and he will pitch. That is a 677. That sounds like extending the inning, and that will be a bloop single for Hernandez, as he will get on with 2 outs, and the Mets will continue the inning. Gary Carter is now the batter. 281 average, 32 home runs, 100 RBI in 85. Palmer will get the sign from Butera. He will set, and he will pitch. That is a 437 against a righty. A 437 is going to be a ground ball over to short. Grabbing that up for the Expos is going to be Brooks. He will take that to the bag himself, and that will retire the side. Nothing across except the single for the for the Mets. Score is now New York 0, Montreal coming to bat. This game tonight is hugely important for both teams in terms of wild card positioning. Starting pitcher for the New York Mets tonight is Sid Fernandez. 9-9 with a 2.80 ERA. 170 and a third innings pitched, 180 strikeouts, 80 walks, and 14 home runs in 85. As the rest of the Mets get loose behind Fernandez, we will meet the Expos starting lineup. Leading off tonight, we have got Tim Raines in left field. Vance Law is at second base. Andre Dawson is in right field. Hubie Brooks is at shortstop. Tim Wallach is at third base. Andres Galarraga is at first base. Mitch Webster is at in center field. Sal Butera is catching. And David Palmer, of course, with a pitcher batting card. And that is the lineup Fernandez has to keep in check tonight. Leading off for the Expos tonight is Tim Raines. 320 average, 11 home runs, 41 RBI, and 85. And as usual, I will see you guys for the top of the second. Fernandez will look to Carter for the sign. He will set, and he will pitch. That is a 634. That'll turn into a 644, and it'll be a ground ball over to second. Picking that one up for the Mets is going to be Backman. He will make the play over to first, and that is 1 out in the inning. Vance Law is now the batter. 266 average, 10 home runs, 52 RBIs, and 85. I think he was the last batter of the 1991 World Series, but he was in Oakland at the time, was Law. Fernandez will get the sign from Carter, and he will pitch. That is a 583. That'll be into center field. Wilson going after that one. And that'll be a fly ball right to him. Maybe taking a couple steps to his left, but Wilson will track that one down easily. 2 outs in the inning. Andre Dawson is now the batter. 255 average, 23 home runs, 91 RBI, and 85. Fernandez looks to Carter for the sign. He will set, and he will pitch. That is a 561. That'll be over to shortstop Santana, and Santana will track that down going to his left. He will make the play over to first, and that will retire the side. 1, 2, 3 go the Expos here in the bottom of the first. We have no score here in Montreal after 1. Both teams need this game. The Expos are trying to host the 5-6 wildcard game. The Mets want to maintain that they're hosting. Mets want to maintain that they're hosting the second wildcard game. Leading off for the Mets in the top of the second is Darryl Strawberry. 277 average, 29 home runs, 79 RBI, and 85. Palmer will look in at Butera for the sign. He will set, he will wind up, and here's the pitch. That is a 387, and a 387 is going to be grounded over to first. Galarraga will get that one. He'll wave Palmer off, and Galarraga will take that to the bag himself for out number 1. George Foster is now the batter. 263 average, 21 home runs, 77 RBIs, and 85. This Mets lineup has got a lot of power in it tonight. Palmer will get the sign from Butera, and he will pitch. That is a 437 against a righty, and a 437. Foster is going to get into one. That'll get to the wall, and Foster will be safe at second with a double. As soon as I say something about the Mets having power in their lineup, they show me to be right, and here's Howard Johnson. 242 average, 11 home runs, 46 RBIs, and 85. Palmer looking a little bit nervous. He will get the sign from Butera. Palmer will set, and he will pitch. That is a 416, and against a righty, about that power. That's going to get out of here with a boom! High, deep, gone. Home run, Howard Johnson. And the Mets strike first. Mets take a 2-0 lead on that blast by Howard Johnson. Stadium groans. Ugh. Here's Rafael Santana. 257 average, 1 home run, 29 RBIs, and 85. Palmer will get the sign from Butera. He will set, and he will pitch. That is a 210 against a righty. 210 is going to turn into a 410, and that'll be grounded right back to Palmer. He will fire that over to Galarraga at first. 2 outs in the inning. Two outs, and here's Sid Fernandez in the batter's box. Of course, no batter stats for the pitchers on the pitcher batting cards. Palmer will get the sign from Butera. He's got to have instant amnesia from that bomb by Johnson. Palmer will set, and he will pitch. That is a 458 on Fernandez's I rating of a 2. A 458 is going to be popped up on the infield. Getting under that one at third base is going to be Wallach. He will make the catch, and that will retire the side. But the Mets strike first. 2 runs on 2 hits. A 2-run bomb by Howard Johnson gives the Mets a 2-0 lead as we head into the bottom of the second. As Higher Ground Gaming is first to join us here at Olympic Stadium. Welcome in tonight, Higher Ground. Great to have you aboard. Bottom of the second now, we'll see the middle of the Expos order. Hubie Brooks steps into the batter's box. 269 average, 13 home runs, 100 RBI, and 85. Fernandez will get the sign from Carter. He will set, and he will pitch. That will be a 310. And Brooks is going to get frozen by a changeup for strike 3. That is out number 1. As Fernandez manages to catch the outside corner for a called strike 3. Tim Wallach now is the batter for the Expos. .260 average, 22 home runs, 81 RBI, and 85. I can guess who Higher Ground is pulling for tonight. Fernandez will get the sign from Carter, and he will pitch. With a .530, that'll be over to Hernandez, and it's going to be a grounder right to him. He'll take that to the bag himself, waving off Fernandez. That'll be 2 outs in the inning. Andres Galarraga is now the batter. 187 average, 2 home runs, 4 RBIs, and 85. Fernandez gets the sign from Carter, and he will pitch. That is a .291 against a righty. Galarraga is deep to left field on that one. Galarraga with a power of a 7. Can he cut the Expos lead? Can he cut the Mets lead in half here? Galarraga is going to get under that one into left field. Foster going back for that one. He's back to the track, and the ball's going to die out there. It'll fall into Foster's glove, and that will retire the side. 1, 2, 3 go the Expos here in the bottom of the second. The Mets now hold a 2-0 lead after 2. Top of the third, we'll bring the top of the Mets order back to the plate. Here's Wilson. Wilson tonight is 0 for 1. Mets now hold a 2-0 lead in the top of the third. Palmer will get the sign from Butera. He will set, and he will pitch. That is a .517. That's right back to Palmer, and he's going to get that on a hop. He will throw that over to Galarraga at first for the first out of the inning. The Expos need to keep the damage limited here. Keep it close. 1 out, and Backman is now the batter. Backman is 0 for 1. Palmer will look in at Butera for the sign. He will set, and he will pitch. That is a .589. That does not sound like it's keeping the damage limited. Center fielder is Webster, and a .589 is going to be a base hit into center field. Backman will find himself at first with a 1-out single. The infield will go to double play depth, and here's Hernandez. Hernandez is 1 for 1. Backman, could the Mets try to run here and create some small ball? Yeah. Backman's going to try to get the jump on Palmer. He's got a steal of a 6. And yeah, he will easily get the jump, and Backman is off to second. He's got to challenge Butera's arm of a 4. Does Backman make it to second? Butera calling for a pitch out. He sensed something was wrong. He makes the throw up to first, or throw to second, and the tag's in time. Backman's out. He's caught stealing as the Mets try to get greedy. 2 outs in the inning. Stadium cheers. Yay! A huge play as the Mets try to get greedy and create some small ball, and it comes back to haunt them, trying to stay out of a double play. Palmer will now turn and pitch to Hernandez. Palmer will get the sign from Butera, and he will pitch. That will be a .408 against a righty. Hernandez is going to work a 2-out walk out of the at-bat, as Palmer will lose control of a changeup for ball 4, and he will reach with 2 outs in the inning. Carter is now the batter. Carter is 0 for 1. Palmer looking in at Butera for the sign. He will set, and he will pitch. That is a .698. Oh boy. .698 is going to be a walk for Carter. That is ball 4. As this time it's a curveball Palmer loses control of. In the inning, and now with a chance for the Mets to open this game up, here's Strawberry. Strawberry is 0 for 1. He's got a lot of power, though. Palmer will get the sign from Butera. Fans at Olympic Stadium are nervous, hoping Palmer can get out of this inning. Palmer will set, and he will pitch. 319. A 319. Strawberry's going to swing through a slider for strike 3. That will retire the side. 2 walks, but the Mets can't parlay that into anything as we get set for the bottom of the 3rd. Stadium size. Phew! A very scary situation if you're an Expos fan. Bottom of the 3rd coming up will bring the bottom of the Expos order to the plate. Mitch Webster now leading off. 274 average, 11 home runs, 30 RBIs in 85. Fernandez will get the sign from Carter. He will set, and he will pitch. That is a 518. That's right back to Fernandez, and that's going to be a base hit into center field. Webster, could he try to stretch that into a double? Yeah. The Expos are going to get daring here. They're going to try to send Webster to second. Webster's got a speed of a 3. He's got to beat an 11 with Wilson's arm. And Webster's going to get greedy. Here comes the throw from Wilson. It is on target. Webster's sliding in, and he slides right into the glove, and Webster is tagged out trying to advance. Stadium groans. Ugh. Now I've got to figure out how... Let's see. Okay, so 1B, that's going to be 1B X. 1B star X. X. There we go. What? Let's try this. 1B star X. 1 out in the inning as Webster tries to get greedy. The Expos try to get greedy as Webster tried to stretch that single into a double, and the Mets and Wilson gets a good throw in to nail Webster. Sal Butera now in the batter's box for the first time. 200 average, 3 home runs, 12 RBIs in 85. The Expos can't seem to catch a break tonight. Fernandez gets the sign from Carter, and he will pitch. That will be a 647 turning into a 657, and it's a ground ball over to short. Santana gets to that one. He will fire that over to first. 2 outs, in the inning. And David Palmer, now the batter for the first time. Fernandez will get the sign from Carter. He will set. Here's the windup, and here's the pitch. With a 106. And a 106 is going to be a 306 against his contact rating of a 1. That'll be a called strike 3 on Palmer, and the side is retired. Nothing across except the single for the Expos. Score remains 2-0 Mets after 3. Both teams trying to get a game that you could argue they both have to have. Top of the 4th brings the second half of the Mets order up. Here's Foster. Foster has a double tonight. Palmer gets the sign from Butera, and he will pitch. 393. A 3. Ooh, he just missed it, but he gets under it just enough to lift it into left field. Rain's going back for that one. He will make the catch as it gets to the track for out number 1. Another scary situation for Foster. 398 would have been a home, 394 would have been a home run, but that's a 393. Speaking of home runs, here's Johnson, the owner of the 2-run home run. That's been all of our runs tonight. Palmer will get the sign from Butera. He will set, and he will pitch. That is a 522. Butera is going to get a called strike 3 on Johnson. Butera manages to frame a pitch, and that'll be a strike 3 called. 2 outs in the inning. Johnson thought it was in the dirt. The umpire says, no, you're in the dirt. You're also out. Go sit. 2 outs in the inning, and here's Santana. Santana's 0 for 1. Mets with a 2-0 lead in the top of the 4th. The Expos trying to shut this potent offense down. Palmer gets the sign from Carter, or from Butera, and he will pitch. That is a 3-0-8. And a 3-0-8 is going to be a slider on the outside corner for strike 3. That will retire the side. 1-2-3 go the Mets here in the top of the 4th. Still 2-0 New York as we get ready for the bottom of the 4th. Bottom of the 4th brings us back to the top of the Expos order. Here's Raines. Raines is 0 for 1. Fernandez gets the sign from Carter. He will set, and he will pitch. 167. And a 167 is going to be a walk as Fernandez throws a bad splitter in the dirt for ball 4. And Raines will trot his way down to first. The infield will go to double play depth as the batter now is Law. Law tonight is 0 for 1. He flew out to center his first time up. Raines, they might try something here. I think they're going to try to have Raines get the jump. Let's see if he gets the jump against Fernandez with a steal of 5. He will easily get the jump, and Raines will take off for second. He's got to beat the arm of he's got to beat a 15. He's got a speed of 8. And there's barely going to be a throw on that one, as Raines will slide into second with a stolen base. Stadium cheers. Yay! That will take away the double play depth, most important. That'll take away the double play, most importantly. Raines picked a good pitch to run on, and he gets to second easily. Fernandez will turn to deal with Law. He will get the sign from Carter, and he will pitch. That is a 553. That'll be over to 553 will be over to third base Johnson, and it'll be a ground ball right to him. He will throw that across the diamond for 1 out. Raines will make third on the play. One out, and Dawson now the batter. The infield's going to play in on this one. Dawson tonight is 0 for 1. Fernandez looking in at Carter for the sign. He will set, and he will pitch. That is a 446 against a lefty. A 446 is, I forgot to determine Raines is going on contact. So a 446 is going to be a ground ball over to third. Getting to that one is going to be Johnson, but the throw is coming to the plate. Raines with a speed of 8. He's got to beat an 11. Actually, he's got to beat an 11 with a speed of 8. Can Raines get the Expos on the board? With hardly a throw, Raines will easily score. Dawson will make first, 2-1 in favor of the Expos. Or in favor of the Mets, I should say. Stadium cheers. Yay! So that'll be an S5. Infield will go back to double play depth, as the batter now is Brooks. Brooks tonight is 0 for 2. Or is 0 for 1, I should say. Fernandez looking in at Carter for the sign. He will set, and he will pitch. That is a 511. And that'll be a ground ball right back to Fernandez. He will throw that over to Hernandez for the second out of the inning. Dawson will make second on the play. Two outs in the inning, and Wallach is now the batter. Wallach tonight is 0 for 1. Dawson wedging off of second. He will get the sign. Fernandez will get the sign from Carter. He will set, and he will pitch. That is a 390. And a 390 is going to be a base hit. That'll get all the way to the gap. Dawson will score, and this game will be tied at 2. Stadium cheers. Yay! Fernandez clearing the cobwebs. Batter now is Galarraga. Galarraga's 0 for 1. Fernandez will get the sign from Carter. He will set, and he will pitch. That is a 155. And a 155. Galarraga swings through the high heat for strike 3. That will retire the side. But the Expos get back into this one. 2 runs on 2 hits, a walk, and a stolen base. We are tied at 2 here in Montreal after 4. And Higher Ground Gaming looks to be very happy with what he's seeing tonight. Dawson equals a Hawk, didn't know that. And I don't know why Reigns always slid headfirst when stealing. Anyway, I'll probably find out in the bottom of the 5th. Top of the 5th, though, will bring us to the bottom of the Mets order. Here's Fernandez. Fernandez is 0 for 1. Tied at 2, top of the 5th. A pivotal NL East showdown tonight. Palmer will get the sign from Butera. He will set, and he will pitch. Oop. That is a 208. And a 208 against a lefty is going to turn into a 408 with his I rating of a 2. A 408, he's just actually I rating of a 2, is going to be grounded over to short. Brooks will grab that one for the Expos. He will throw that over to first, out number 1. Wilson, now the batter. Wilson tonight is 0 for 2. Palmer will look in at Butera for the sign. He will set, and he will pitch. That is a 120. That'll turn into a 320, and Wilson gets frozen by a slider for strike 3. That is out number 2. Catches enough of the inside corner to be strike 3, and that is out number 2 for Wilson as he is retired on strikes. 2 outs, and here's Backman. Backman tonight is 1 for 2 with a single, but he got caught stealing. Palmer gets the sign from Butera, and he will pitch. With a 262 against a switch left, 262 is going to be a called strike 3 on Backman as a curveball gets the inside corner, and that will retire the side. 1, 2, 3 go the Mets here in the top of the 5th as we get set for the bottom of the 5th. So he wouldn't break his crack vial in his back pocket. Okay, then. Right. Anyway. Leading off the top of the bottom of the 5th as Fernandez finishes his warm-up tosses is Webster. Webster has a single, but he got thrown out trying to stretch it into a double. Fernandez gets the sign from Carter. He will set. Here's the windup, and here's the pitch. With a 122 and a 122, Webster is going to get frozen by a splitter for strike 3. That is out number 1. Splitter catches enough of the bottom of the strike zone to be a called strike 3. And Webster doesn't even dispute the pitch. Butera, now the batter. Butera is 0 for 1. Fernandez gets the sign from Carter. He will set, and he will pitch. That will be a 534. That's over to Hernandez, and it'll be grounded right to him. Hernandez will wave off Fernandez coming over. That's going to get confusing in a hurry. 2 outs in the inning. And Palmer now stepping into the batter's box. Palmer's 0 for 1 tonight. Fernandez gets the sign from Carter. He will set, and he will pitch. That is a 622. That'll turn into a 632, and it'll get popped up on the infield. Santana calling everybody off as he'll track that down in the grass in the infield to make the catch and retire the side. 1, 2, 3 go the Expos here in the bottom of the 5th. We are not at a 2 here in Montreal after 5. Must-win game for both teams. Expos, true story. No, I believe you on that, Higher Ground. 1985 baseball, for obvious reasons, is not my strong suit. Anyway, we've got a game that both teams have to have. Mets chasing the Cardinals, trying to fend off the Reds and the Expos. The Expos chasing the Reds, trying to host the first wild card game. We'll get some activity in the Expos bullpen once they get back over to Digital Diamond, as starting to get loose for the Expos is going to be, let's see, they've got, who do they have coming up? They have lefty, righty, lefty, bunch of righties. The Expos are going to get, they probably want to be able to eat up some innings. Who do they have in long relief? Let's look at the Expos bullpen here real quick and see what their rotation situation looks like. Mostly lefties, we said. No, righties mostly. So somebody who pitches against lefties, or pitches against righties decently well. Okay. The Expos are going to get Gary Lucas warming up in the bullpen. As he gets loose, we will see the heart of the Mets order. Here's Hernandez. Hernandez tonight is 1 for 1 with a single and a walk. Palmer looking into Butera for the sign. Top of the 6th, we are not at a 2. Palmer will set, and he will pitch. That is a 694 and a 694. Hernandez is going to get into that one. That's going to get into the gap, and Hernandez will be safe at first or at third with a leadoff triple. Wow. Expos fans are not going to be happy with that. That is going to force the infield in to lead off the inning and be the first point of pitcher fatigue against Palmer. Lucas continuing to throw for the Expos. And here's Carter. Carter tonight is 0 for 1 with a walk. Looking at Hernandez, let's check the infield for the Expos. Switch these two out. Let's see, Laws at second base with an arm of a 3, 1, 4, 2. Hernandez is not going on contact. Carter has got a lot of power. Palmer will get the sign from Butera. Fans at Olympic Stadium are nervous. They're on their feet hoping Palmer can work around a leadoff triple. Palmer will set, and he will pitch. 334. A 334 is going to be a ground ball over to short. Brooks will grab that one. He'll look Hernandez back to first and back to third and throw over to first to get Carter for the first out of the inning. One out of the inning, infield still in, and here's Strawberry. Strawberry tonight is 0 for 2. This time Carter has to go on contact. Palmer will get the sign from Butera. He will set, and he will pitch. With a 135, that'll be a 335, and Strawberry is going to swing through the high heat for strike 3. That will be out number 2. Foster, now the batter. Foster is 1 for 2 with a double tonight. Palmer trying to get around a leadoff triple. Palmer will get the sign from Butera. He will set, and he will pitch. That will be a 631, and a 631 is going to pop Foster up on the infield over to short. Brooks will get under that one. He will make the catch, calling everybody off once again in the grass, and that will retire the side. A leadoff triple, but the Mets can't get Hernandez home. We remain tied at 2, heading into the bottom of the 6th. Stadium size. Phew. Higher Ground Gaming probably joins in on that sigh. Phew. Why, his nickname was Rock Reigns. No, I believe you on that. I just didn't know that story. You got to remember, Higher Ground, 1985, at this point of the season, I wouldn't have even been a month old yet. And yes, I feel old just saying that. As Fernandez gets into his warm-up tosses, we're going to get some activity in the Mets bullpen as well. Let's see who we're going to get warming up for the Mets tonight. We'll check their rotation situation. I think they want to try to eat up, let's see. What do the Expos have? Switch and mostly righties. Let's see, switch and mostly righties. They're going to get... Who are the Mets going to get warming up? The Mets are going to get Wes Gardner warming up in the bullpen. Fernandez is going to continue to pitch to start the 6th inning. We'll see how long a leash Fernandez has tonight. Leading off the bottom of the 6th, we've got the top of the Expos order. Here's Raines. Raines is 1 for 1 with a walk and a stolen base. Fernandez will get the sign from Carter. He will set, and he will pitch. That will be a 696. Oh boy. That'll turn into a 706, and Raines thinks he's got into one to lead off the inning. That is deep to center field. Raines with a power of a 4. Does he give the Expos the lead with one swing of the bat? Raines is going to get under that one. That'll get into center field. Going back after that one is Webster. He's back to the track, back to the wall. He scales the wall, and he's going to make a great catch on that one. He will rob Raines of a home run and a 3-2 lead for the Expos. Stadium barfs. Blah. That is a gigantic catch. That's a gigantic catch by Wilson as the Mets get under that one. Mets bench jumping up and down. Fernandez pumping his fist from the mound. Law is now the batter. Law tonight is 0 for 2. Fernandez feeling mighty confident with that home run robbery. Fernandez will get the sign from Carter, and he will pitch. That will be a 555. That'll be over to third base, where Johnson's waiting for it, and that'll be a base hit for Law into left field. He will be content with the single, though. Actually, Higher Ground Gaming probably wouldn't be happy with that robbery. Dawson, now the batter. Dawson tonight is 1 for 2. And he scored... Looks like he scored a run tonight. Right. Fernandez will get the sign from Carter. That should be a point of pitcher fatigue on Fernandez. Dawson will set, and Fernandez will set. Dawson will wait for the pitch, and here's the pitch. That will be a 559. That sounds like it's going to be trouble. That's going to be over to Johnson once again. And this time, Johnson's going to boot that one, and everybody's safe. Johnson's going to get handcuffed by the grounder, and everybody will move up a base. That won't be a point of pitcher fatigue against Fernandez, though. Brooks is now the batter as the Expos are threatening. Brooks is 0 for 2 tonight. He's going to grip it and rip it. Fernandez will get the sign from Carter, and he will pitch. That will be a 344. And a 344 is going to get popped up on the infield to first base. Hernandez going into foul territory for that one. He will make the catch after tracking it down. 2 outs in the inning. Wallach, now the batter. Wallach is 1 for 2 tonight. Tied at 2, bottom of the 6th. 2 outs in the inning. Law at second, Dawson at first. Fernandez trying to get out of the inning. Pitcher's spot due up third in the top of the 7th. Fernandez will get the sign from Carter, and he will pitch. That is a 301, and that's going to be a swing and a miss by Wallach as he gets in front of a splitter for strike 3. That will retire the side. A single and an error, but the Expos can't translate that to runs. We are still tied at 2 after 6. We've got a tight game here between two teams that can't afford to lose this game. And Troy Sawyer now joining us here at Olympic Stadium. Now he feels old, graduated high school in 1986. Well, you'll probably feel even older after this, but I'm turning 40 this year. And Higher Ground was an 85 grad. And going to be doing an 86 World Series replay probably later this week. I'll try to stop by and watch as much as I can of that, but I'm going to be still busy probably with this 85 replay as we're starting to get near the playoffs and October baseball. Top of the 7th, and we're going to get a pitching change for the Expos as Palmer is going to come out of the game. Neither team, I think, wanting funny business here, as neither team can afford to lose this game. Coming in to pitch for the Expos is going to be Gary Lucas. 6-2 with a 3.19 ERA, 67 2/3 innings pitched, 31 strikeouts, 24 walks, and 6 home runs in 85. Leading off the top of the 7th, we've got Johnson. Johnson is 1 for 2, but that one was a 2-run home run. Lucas getting his warm-up tosses in. He will get the sign from Butera. He will set, and he will pitch. That will be a 103. That'll turn into a 303, and Johnson's going to swing through a changeup for strike 3. That's out number 1. Santana, now the batter. Santana's 0 for 2. Lucas will get the sign from Butera. He will set, and he will pitch. That will be a 324, and a 324 is going to be a base hit by Santana. He will get on with a 1-out single. The Expos infield will go to double play depth, and Fernandez is going to come out of the game. The Mets are going to go to the bench. I'm just deciding who the Mets are going to use to pinch hit. They want somebody who hits lefties decently well. They are going to go I'm just deciding who the Mets want to bring in this situation. The Mets are going to go to Billy Beane to pinch hit. 250 average, no home runs, 1 RBI in 85. He will be the pinch hitter. Lucas will get the sign from Butera. 1 out in the inning, tied at 2, top of the 7th. Lucas will set, and he will pitch. That'll be a 691. And a 691 is going to be a double for Beane. He will come through with that one in a big way. Santana to third, Beane to first, infield in, and the batter now is Wilson. Wilson tonight is 0 for 3. Looking at Santana's speed at third, he is going on contact. Lucas will get the sign from Butera. Fans at Olympic Stadium are on their feet. They're nervous. Lucas will get the sign from Butera, and he will pitch. 523. 523, that is Butera, and that's going to be a swing and a miss by Wilson as he tries to lay off a splitter, but the umpire says, no, you went around. 2 outs in the inning. Backman, now the batter. Backman tonight is 1 for 3. Lucas trying to get out of the inning. He will get the sign from Butera. He will set, and he will pitch. That is a 190, and a 190 is going to be a bloop single, and the Mets are going to take the lead back. That'll clear the bases. Santana and Beane will both score 4-2 in favor of the Mets. Stadium groans. Ugh. As Beane came through with 2 outs, and the batter now is Hernandez. Hernandez tonight is 2 for 2 with a single, a walk, and a triple. Lucas looking into Butera for the sign. He will set, and he will pitch. That is a 640, and that 640 is going to be a ground ball over to first, I should say. Grabbing that at first base is going to be Galarraga. He will wave off Lucas coming over, and that will retire the side. But that is 1 out too late. 2 runs on 3 hits, and the Mets open up a 4-2 lead here in Montreal. We are at the 7th inning stretch. As usual, I won't torture you guys with my rendition of Take Me Out to the Ball Game, but I will take a small break. You're on school. Higher Ground is on school vacation this week. Nice. And don't forget, we still have Fast Score after tonight's game. I don't know what our next ticker game is going to be yet, but we'll decide that after Fast Score tonight. If anybody wants to look ahead and weigh in, our next feature game is going to be September 18th, 1985. I've got 2 games that I'm looking at, and I'm trying to focus on the pennant race as much as I can. The 2 games I've penciled in are very focused on the pennant race. Bottom of the 7th coming up. We're looking at the second half of the Expos order. Before we get to that point, though, the Mets need a pitcher. And coming in to pitch for the Mets is going to be Wes Gardner, 0-2 with a 5.25 ERA, 12 innings pitched, 11 strikeouts, 8 walks, and 1 home run in 85. Leading off the bottom of the 7th will be Galarraga. Galarraga is 0 for 2. Gardner will look to Carter for the sign. He will set, and he will pitch. That is a 620. That'll turn into a 630, and that'll get popped up to short on the infield. Santana, just barely off the grass into the outfield. He'll call everybody off, make the catch, and that will be out number 1. Webster, now the batter. Webster's 1 for 2. We're going to get some activity in the Expos bullpen as starting to get loose for the Expos. Let's see, righty, lefty, righty. The Expos are going to get John Dobson warming up. Gardner will look into Carter for the sign. He will set, he will kick, and here's the pitch. That is a 309. That's going to be a swing and a miss by Webster. That'll be strike 3 on a changeup. 2 outs in the inning. Butera, now the batter. Butera is 0 for 2. Gardner will get the sign from Carter. Mets holding on to a 4-2 lead. Gardner will set, and he will pitch. That is a 103. That'll turn into a 303, and that'll be a fly ball into center field. Butera will get under that one. Wilson will come in for that one. He will make the catch, and that will retire the side. 1, 2, 3 go the Expos here in the bottom of the 7th. Mets with a 4-2 lead after 7. Top of the 8th will bring us to the middle of the Mets order. Leading off is Carter. Carter is 0 for 2 with a walk tonight. Lucas will get the sign from Butera. He will set, and he will pitch. That is a 188. And a 188 is going to be a bloop single for Carter. He will get on to lead off the inning. And that'll be the first point of pitcher fatigue against Lucas, which I will deal with in a second. The infield will go to double play depth, and here's Strawberry. Strawberry tonight is 0 for 3. Always a threat, but he's been pretty quiet tonight. Nothing special here. I think Strawberry is just going to grip it and rip it. Lucas will get the sign from Butera. He will set, and he will pitch. That will be a 543. That's over to second base. That is Law. And a 543 is going to be grounded right to him. He will throw that over to Brooks at short. Brooks will make the throw over to Galarraga at first. That is in time. That'll be a 4-6-3 double play. 2 outs in the inning. Stadium cheers. Yay! A huge double play for the Expos. And here's Foster. Foster is 1 for 3 with a double. Mets holding on to a 4-2 lead in the top of the 8th. Lucas trying to get out of the inning. He will get the sign from Carter, or not from Carter, from Butera, and he will pitch. That is a 278 against a righty 278. Uh-oh. Foster thinks he's got into one. That is deep to left field. Foster with a power of 9. Does Foster extend the Mets' lead? Yes, he does, with a boom! That ball is hit high. That ball is hit deep to left field. Rain's going back for that one. He's back to the track, back to the wall, and that ball is gone. Solo home run, George Foster. 5-2 in favor of the Mets. Stadium groans. Ugh. And here's Johnson. Johnson is 1 for 3, also with a home run, his of the 2-run variety. Lucas trying to get out of the inning, Dobson continuing to throw in the bullpen. Lucas will get the sign from Butera, and he will pitch. With a 466 against a lefty, a 466 is going to be a fly ball into center field. Getting under that one for the Expos is Webster. He will make the catch, and that will retire the side. One hit, but what a hit it was, a solo home run by George Foster, as the Mets now open up a 5-2 lead heading into the bottom of the 8th. The Mets are going to get some activity in their bullpen, as they're going to get 2 pitchers warming up. They're going to get Jesse Orosco going, just in case the Expos have any funny business, and Roger McDowell going, in case the Expos don't run into don't give them any funny business. Because believe me, the Mets do not want funny business in September. Lucas is going to come out of the game, though. The Expos are going to go to the bench to try to salvage this one. Coming into pinch hit for the Expos is going to be... Who hits righties decently well and has pretty good power? Actually, they just need runners right now. The Mets are going to turn, or the Expos are going to turn to UL Washington off the bench. 249 average, 1 home run, 17 RBIs in 85. He will be the pinch hitter for Lucas. Gardner will get the sign from Carter. He will set, and he will pitch. That is a 214. Against a switch left, 214 is going to be a 414. And against a righty, that's going to be a ground ball over to third. Grabbing that for the Mets is Johnson. He will throw that over. Hang on. He'll throw that over to first. 1 out in the inning. I'm just updating my score sheet. Okay, got that. And now we can come back to this in Digital Diamond. 1 out in the inning for the Expos, and Raines is now the batter. Raines tonight is 0 for 2 with a walk and a stolen base. Gardner will get the sign from Carter. He will set, and he will pitch. That is a 541. That's over to second base. That's Backman, and it'll be a ground ball right to him. Backman will fire that over to first. 2 outs in the inning. Law is now the batter. Law is 1 for 3. Gardner trying to avoid any funny business here. He will get the sign from Carter. He will set, and here's the pitch. That'll be a 110. That'll turn into a 310. And Law gets frozen by a changeup for strike 3. That will retire the side. 1, 2, 3 go the Expos here in the bottom of the 8th. The Mets holding on to a 5-2 lead as we get set for the 9th. As ID Jester now joins us here at Olympic Stadium. I saw you were playing Momentum Football earlier. And Jester, if you want to look into the next board game that we're going to do, our next featured block day will be tomorrow morning and will be at September 18th, 1985. Coming back to game tonight, we are looking at the bottom of the Mets order in the top. Actually, before we do that, the Expos need a pitcher. Speaking of pitchers, the Mets are going to tell Orosco to sit down in the bullpen as Roger McDowell is going to get ready for the bottom of the 9th. Coming in to pitch for the Expos is going to be to pitch for the Expos is going to be John Dobson. 0-2 with an 11.08 ERA, 13 innings pitched, 4 strikeouts, walks, and home runs in 85. He will be charged with the bottom of the Mets order, including a pinch hitter for Gardner. Here's Santana. Santana tonight is 1 for 2, or is 1 for 3. Dobson will get the sign from Butera. He will set, and he will pitch. That is a 3-14, and a 3-14. Santana gets frozen by the high heat for strike 3, out number 1. Santana complains, that pitch was high. The umpire says, no, you're high. You're also out. Go sit. Speaking of out, Gardner is going to come out of the game. The Mets are going to go to the bench for a pinch hitter. They're looking for somebody who hits righties well. And the Mets are going to turn to Clint Hurdle. 195 average, 3 home runs, 7 RBI in 85. He will be the pinch hitter in this game tonight. As I wanted to make sure Digital Diamond caught up with me. Dobson will look into Butera for the sign. Actually, before I do that, just updating my score sheet, and here are my dice. Dobson will get the sign from Butera. He will set, and he will pitch. That is a 4-18 against a righty. A 4-18 is going to be a ground ball over to second. Grabbing that for the Expos is going to be Law. He'll take that over to first. Out number 2. Two outs in the inning because I haven't been paying attention to that. And the batter now is Wilson. Wilson tonight is 0 for 4. Dobson looking in at Butera for the sign. He will set, and he will pitch. With a 298. Against a switch left, that is deep to right field. Wilson with a power of a 4. Does he extend the Mets' lead? Wilson will extend the Mets' lead, as that's going to get out of here with a boom! That ball is hit high. That ball is hit deep to right field. Going back for that is Dawson. He's back to the track, back to the wall, and that ball is about 2 rows in. It is gone. Home run, Mookie Wilson. 6-2 in favor of the Mets. Stadium groans. Ugh. Batter now is Backman. Backman is 2 for 4 with 2 singles, but he got caught stealing. Dobson will get the sign from Butera. He will set, and he will pitch. That is a 140, and a 140 is going to be a wild pitch. Ball 1, we will do it again. This time it's a 6-0-2, and a 6-0-2 is going to be grounded over to short. Grabbing that is Brooks for the Expos. He will flip that over to first, and that will retire the side. Once again, 1 pitch too late. 1 run, 1 hit, a solo bomb by Mookie Wilson, as the Mets now open up a 6-2 lead heading into the bottom of the 9th. But will we see some 9th inning magic? I know if RJL was here, he would want to see no 9th inning magic. The Mets need a pitcher once we get back into Digital Diamond. And the Mets want no funny business tonight. Even though it's not a safe situation, they are going to the closer. The Mets are going once we clear the funny business here. The Mets are going to Roger McDowell. 6-5 with 17 saves, 2.83 ERA, 127 1/3 innings pitched, 70 strikeouts, 37 walks, 9 home runs in 85. He will have to navigate the heart of the Expos order, though. Leading off the bottom of the ninth is Dawson. Dawson is 1 for 2 with a single, and he's reached on an error. McDowell will get the sign from Carter. Expos fans are on their feet, hoping Montreal can continue this game. McDowell will set, and he will pitch. That is a 297. And against a righty, 297, oh boy. Dawson's into that one. That is deep to left field. Dawson with a power of a 9. He's got into this one. What happens here? Can he get this one out? Dawson's going to get under that one. He's going to lift that one into left field. Going back for that is Foster. He's back to the track. He's very close to the wall. And the ball just barely dies out there. But it'll die enough for Foster to get it into his glove for out number 1. Stadium groans. Ugh. Dawson got under that one just enough. He can't believe he didn't get that one out. It looked good, but it died out there. Brooks, now the batter with 1 out. 0 for 3 tonight is Brooks. McDowell gets the sign from Carter. He will set, and he will pitch. With a 453 against a righty, a 453. Brooks is going to swing through the high heat for strike 3. That is out number 2. And the last chance for the Expos tonight comes down to Tim Wallach. Wallach is 1 for 3. McDowell looking in at Carter for the sign. He will set, and he will pitch. Olympic Stadium is loud, and here's the pitch. That is a 171, and a 171 is going to be a walk, and Wallach will continue this game with 2 outs. Galarraga is going to come out of the game. Let's see if the Expos have another first baseman that's got some more power to him. Or that hits righties a little bit better. Well, Galarraga hits righties reasonably well. Question is, do they have another first baseman? They do. They have a couple. This is a tough decision. Do you let Galarraga bat? I think the answer here is, unfortunately, yes, they are going to let Galarraga bat. Although Galarraga tonight is 0 for 3. 2 outs, bottom of the ninth, 6-2 Mets. Mets trying to get this game done. Expos trying to prolong it. McDowell will get the sign from Carter. Fans at Olympic Stadium are loud, hoping Galarraga can come through and extend this game. McDowell will set. He will pitch. That is a 449 against a righty. A 449 is going to be a fly ball into right field. Getting under that one is Strawberry. Galarraga slams his bat. He can't believe it. Expos bench shaking their head, hanging their heads. Getting under that one is going to be Strawberry. He'll put out his glove, blop, and the ball falls into it. That's your game. The New York Mets survive a late inning scare from the Montreal Expos to take this one by a final score of 6-2. Stadium groans. Ugh. Final line score coming up. For the Mets, 6 runs on 2 hits, on 11 hits and 1 error. For the Expos, 2 runs on 4 hits and no errors. Winning pitcher tonight is going to be Sid Fernandez. He will take the win. Gary Lucas will take a tough loss, and Wes Gardner will end up with a hold. And that will do it for the feature game tonight. But of course, we are not done yet, because we still have to ask our friends at Fast Score how the rest of the majors fared. So as usual, I'm going to do my cleanup, and then we'll see how Fast Score brings the rest of the majors in. It is now time to ask our friends at Fast Score how the rest of the majors fared. The New York Mets pick up a huge board win over the Montreal Expos as they win this one by a final score of 6-2. But let's see how the rest of the majors fared. On Doomsday Watch tonight, we've got the entire American League West except for the Chicago White Sox and the Rangers. The Rangers have already been eliminated. The Cubs in the NL East are the only other team on Doomsday Watch tonight. So we'll see how the rest of the majors fared here on September 14th. Rangers and the Angels. Rangers 443, that is 3. Angels 1914, that is also 3. They will go to extras. Rangers roll a 2 plus 0. California rolls a 4 plus 2 is 6. That'll be a win for the Angels in extras. Twins and the Indians have a doubleheader. Game 1. Twins 1365, that is 9. Indians 1564, that is also 9. A shootout goes to extras. Twins roll a 5, plus 2 is 7. Indians roll a 2, minus 3 is -1. The Twins will take Game 1 in a shootout. Game 2. Twins 1331, that is 4. Indians 1151, that is 5. That is a win for the Indians. And let me double check, but because they split that twin bill, the Minnesota Twins have officially been eliminated from the 1985 playoff picture, as they now have 81 wins and can no longer finish with a winning record. So the Twins are out of the playoff picture. Orioles and the Tigers in a very critical doubleheader in the American League East and the wild card picture. Game 1. Orioles 1262, that is 7. Tigers 1153, that is 6. The Orioles take Game 1. Game 2. Orioles 812, that is 1. Tigers 1333, that is 4. And the Tigers and the Orioles will split a critical twin bill. Red Sox and the Brewers. Red Sox, 1351, that is 6. Brewers, 1145, that is 5. And the Red Sox will get that win. Blue Jays and the Yankees. Blue Jays, 312, that is 0. Yankees, 824, that is 2. And I don't think it'll be too much longer before we talk about the Yankees in the playoffs, having clinched a spot. Royals and the Athletics. Royals, 1541, that is 5. Athletics, 533, that is 3. And Kansas City will get that win. White Sox and the Mariners. White Sox, 1352, that is 6. Mariners, 1215, that is 2. The White Sox take that win, and I'm pretty sure, let me just check in my standings. Yep, that is doomsday for the Seattle Mariners as well, as they have been officially eliminated from the playoff picture. The Mariners are out. Giants and the Braves. Giants, 1425, that is 4. Braves, 842, that is also 4. They will go to extras. Giants roll a 6, -1 is 5. Braves roll a 6, +1 is 7. That'll be a win for Atlanta in extras. Cardinals and the Cubs. The Cubs are facing doomsday, and they picked a bad team for that. Philip Anderson now joins us here for Fast Score. If you want to go AL, Tigers and the Yankees. But if I don't want to put on the Tigers too much, then it's the Astros and the Dodgers in the NL. Those are the exact 2 games I'm eyeing for the next feature game, Philip. Well, once again, we've got the Cardinals and the Cubs, with the Cubs facing doomsday. Cardinals, 1622, that is 3. Cubs, 1232, that is 4. And the Cubs stave off doomsday, at least for another game. Dodgers and the Reds. Dodgers, 922, that is 2. Reds, 213, that is 0. And that's a win for the Dodgers. Padres and the Astros. Padres, 911 is 0. Astros, 626, that is 2. And that's a win for the Astros. Phillies and the Pirates. Phillies, 1241, that is 5. Pirates, 615, that is 1. And the Phillies put a hurting on the Pirates. September 15th, Rangers and the Angels. Rangers, 814, that is 1. Angels, 616, that is also 1. They will go to extras. Rangers roll a 6, +0. Angels roll a 2, +2 is 4. But that'll be a win for the Rangers in extras. Twins and the Indians. Twins, 1634, that is 5. Indians, 653, that is also 5. They will go to extras. Twins roll a 1, +2 is 3. Indians roll a 2, -3 is -1. That'll be a win for the Twins in extras. Orioles and the Tigers. Orioles, 1014, that is 1. Tigers, 1254, that is 6. And that is a win for the Kitty Cats as they maul the Brown Bears, or the Brown Birds in that one. Red Sox and the Brewers. Red Sox, 1825, that is 4. Brewers, 813, that is 1. And that is a win for the Red Sox. Blue Jays and the Yankees. Blue Jays, 1231, that is 4. Yankees, 943, that is also 4. They will go to extras. Blue Jays roll a 6 plus 0. Yankees roll a 5, minus 2 is 3. That'll be a win for the Blue Jays in extras. Royals and the Athletics with a doubleheader. Game 1. Royals, 1143, that is 5. Athletics, 623, that is 2. The Royals take Game 1. Game 2. Royals, 1812, that is 2. Athletics, 1332, that is 4. And the Athletics, will double up the Royals to split that twin bill. White Sox and the Mariners. White Sox, 1566, that is 11. Mariners, 834, that is 3. And the White Sox put a beating on the Mariners. Giants and the Braves are both 7s. Giants roll a 56, that is 6. Braves roll a 33, that is 3. And the Giants will double up on the Braves. Hold on. Right. Got to give the Braves and the Giants their second losses. Cardinals and the Cubs. Cardinals are coming loaded to try to bring the Cubs to doomsday. Let's see if they succeed this time. Cardinals, 2054, that is 8. Cubs, 626, that is 2. That's a win for the Cardinals, and the Chicago Cubs now hit doomsday. The Cubs have officially been eliminated from the playoff picture. Dodgers and the Reds. Dodgers, 762, that is 6. Reds, 444, that is 4. And the Dodgers get that win. Padres and the Astros are both 8s. Padres roll a 42, that is 4. Astros roll a 35, that is also 4. They will go to extras. Padres roll a 1 plus 0. Astros roll a 1 plus 0. Because of home team, Astros will take that one in extras. Mets and the Expos. Mets are coming loaded for revenge. Actually, Mets are coming loaded to continue beating on the Expos. Mets, 2642, that is 7. Expos, 665, that is 8. And it's the Expos who get a measure of revenge. Phillies and the Pirates. Whoa, okay. Phillies, 313, that is 0. Pirates, 614, that is 1. And in a game nobody apparently wanted to win, the Pirates get to hang the Jolly Roger. September 16th, Orioles and the Tigers. Orioles, 1354, that is 7. Tigers, 1466, that is 11. And the Tigers get a big win over the Orioles. Every game between those two teams is huge right now. Mariners and the Royals. Mariners, 856, that is 6. Royals, 533, that is 3, and that will be a win for the Mariners as they double up on the Royals. Red Sox and the Brewers. Mariners did have an 8-0 start, but they have since hit doomsday tonight. The Mariners have been eliminated. Red Sox and the Brewers. Red Sox, 1536, that is 5. Brewers, 912, that is 1. And the Red Sox get a win over the Brewers. Rangers and the Twins. Rangers, 821, that is 2. Twins, 1345, that is 5. That is a win for the Twins. The Mariners were the best at a moment in this replay, but the AL West turned into a dumpster fire, and now the Mariners have been mathematically eliminated from the playoffs. Indians and the Yankees. Indians, 832, that is 3. Yankees, 1633, that is 5. And the Yankees beat up on the poor Tribe. By the way, let me see if I can do this from OBS. Here we go. Philip, congratulations. You've been around long enough to get a wrench on the channel. Astros and the Braves. Astros, 1336, that is 5. Braves, 725, that is 2. The Astros beat up on the Braves. Giants and the Reds. Giants, 636, that is 3. Reds, 1032, that is also 3. They will go to extras. Giants roll a 5, -1 is 4. Reds roll a 1, +2 is 3, but that'll be a win for the Giants in extras. The Expos could really make up some ground here on the Reds to get back to hosting the first wild card game, I should say. We'll see about that when I do the standings. Though speaking of the Expos, they are hosting the Cubs. Cubs, 861, that is 6. Expos, 1832, that is 5. And that is a win for the Baby Bears. An opportunity to make up some ground goes by the board for the Expos. Phillies and the Mets. Phillies, -221, that is 1. Mets, 811, that is 0. And the Phillies will hit the Mets where it hurts. Right in the standings for the wild card picture, Cardinals and the Pirates with a doubleheader. Game 1. Cardinals, 1534, that is 5. Pirates, -413, that is 0. And the Cardinals get Game 1. Game 2. Cardinals, 1456, that is 7. Pirates, 124, that is 1. And the Cardinals will take both games in that twin bill. Dodgers and the Padres. Dodgers, 752, that is 5. Padres, 556, that is also 5. They will go to extras. Dodgers roll a 5, +0 is a 5. Padres roll a 4, +0 is 4. That'll be a win for the Dodgers in extras. September 17th, Brewers and the Orioles. This should be a good one with the Orioles still fighting for their playoff lives. Brewers, 665, that is 8. Orioles, 1435, that is 5. And the Brewers, at least tonight, play spoiler. Blue Jays and the Red Sox. Blue Jays, 823, that is 2. Red Sox, 562, that is 6. And the Red Sox triple up the Blue Jays. Toronto can't be taking a lot of losses right now. Whoop, hold on. Let me check Toronto's record. I think I gave them a win when they should have had a loss here. Let's see. 1 loss, 2 loss. Yep, Toronto should have gone 0 hold on. Toronto should have gone 0 no, they shouldn't have gone 0-3. 1 loss, 1 win. Okay, so yeah, I did give the Blue Jays an extra win. Okay, so they should have a loss. And the Red Sox had a pretty good record on the board this time, or on the ticker, on the block. Angels and the White Sox are both 8s. Angels roll at 26, that is 3. White Sox roll at 25, that is also 3. They will go to extras. Angels roll a 3, plus 2 is 5. White Sox roll a 4, plus 0. That'll be a win for the Angels in extras. Athletics and the Indians. Athletics, 21-25, that is 5. Indians, 11-62, that is 7. And the Indians get that win. Yankees and the Tigers. And if I'm being honest, I am leaning toward the Dodgers and the Astros and the Dodgers for tomorrow morning, because I do want to feature that NL West all-out cage match to the death, at least once on the board in September. But we'll see what happens after I update the standings results. Yankees and the Tigers. Yankees, 11-16, that is 2. Tigers, 665, that is 8. And the Tigers will put a hurting on the Yankees. Mariners and the Royals. Mariners, 654, that is 5. Royals, 1243, that is also 5. They will go to extras. Mariners roll a 5, plus 2 is 7. Kansas City rolls a 5, also plus 2 is 7. Because of home team, that'll be a win for the Royals in extras. Rangers and the Twins. Rangers, 932, that is 3. Twins, 742, that is 4. And that's a win for the Twins. Astros and the Braves. Astros, 1266, that is 11. Braves, 931 is probably nowhere near 11, that is 3. And the Astros put a hurting on the Braves. Giants and the Reds. Giants, 362, that is 5. Reds, 945, that is also 5. They will go to extras. Giants roll a 3, minus 1 is 2. Reds roll a 4, plus 2 is 6. And that game takes extras, but it will belong to the Reds. Cubs and the Expos. Cubs, 642, that is 4. Expos, 533, that is 3. And that's a win for the Baby Bears. Phillies and the Mets. Phillies, 936, that is 4. Mets, 843, that is also 4. They will go to extras. Phillies roll a 2, minus 3 is negative 1. Mets roll a 1, plus 0 is a positive 1. And that'll be enough for the Mets to take that win in extras. Cardinals and the Pirates. Cardinals, 1732, that is 5. Pirates, 435, that is 3. And that's a win for the Cardinals. Dodgers and the Padres. Dodgers, 614, that is 1. Padres, 222, that is also 1. They will go to extras. Dodgers roll a 6 plus 0. Padres roll a 4, also plus 0. That'll be a win for the Dodgers in extras. And that'll wrap up block 40 of 1985 season ticket. Let me update the standings, and then we will finally pick tomorrow morning's feature game. And tonight we'll also have the last If the Playoffs Started Today post, because as I mentioned, the next time I post playoff brackets after this, we will be getting ready for the actual 1985 playoffs, at least in the replay. The Mets had a huge opportunity to make up some ground on the Cardinals, but they seem to have largely squandered it. And the Dodgers and the Astros really couldn't get on track to make up any ground on the Dodgers either in this block. All right. Okay, now we've got all of that up to date. Now let's sort this. Let's finish sorting the standings. Okay. And we are all good there. And hitting Doomsday tonight, we've got the American League West, except for the White Sox, and the Cubs have also hit Doomsday tonight. They have all been eliminated from the playoff picture. So, coming back to Fast Score, the games I had penciled in earlier for tonight's action. Yeah, basically, Philip, you and Jester are kind of keeping an eye on chat when I can't do it, especially during these replays, since I only check in with chat in the middle of each inning. So I basically am leaning on you guys to kind of keep things in check while I'm in the middle of the game. So, coming back to block 41 for 1985. It was going to be either the Yankees and the Tigers or the Astros and the Dodgers. Since I just featured the Tigers earlier this morning in a huge game with the Blue Jays, and I did want to feature the NL West race at least once in September, I think that is where we are going to go. So tomorrow morning, we will be at Dodger Stadium for a National League West matchup between the Houston Astros and the Los Angeles Dodgers. Mike Scott will be on the hill for the Astros, and Rick Honeycutt will be going for the Dodgers. Tomorrow afternoon, we'll have another block in 1985, and I will look ahead to that once. We'll pick that as usual once we get closer to that. As for the rest of the videos coming up, Wednesday we will be playing the Hunters from Constant Press and GMT Games, continuing Game 3 of my War Room 10-game challenge for this year. Next week, Mystical Munchies will be finishing out of the recipes from the World of Tolkien cookbook with the dessert, Bilbo's 11st birthday cake. Thank you for watching the video. please give the video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Be sure to turn on notifications so you get my content. Be well, stay safe, take care of yourselves and your loved ones, and I'll be back with more videos in the future. Until then, take care, everyone. The New York Mets come into Montreal and Olympic Stadium and beat up on the Expos 6-2, strengthening their wildcard placement. Once again, take care, and I will see you guys tomorrow morning for Sunday Morning Baseball.